Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Kryptonite Show. Your host Superman in the house for another daily dose of PulseChain, of course, Bitcoin, Ethereum. We're going to cover it all, you guys know. And yeah, let's get into it. It's going to be fun. We've got Bitcoin holding up pretty well, actually. We've still got the bears expecting a flash crash. That may happen coming up, but we've certainly got a very bullish outlook, even though it's tentative. We're going tentatively along there. And we're going to check out all the measures and see how many tailwinds we got versus headwinds so far. So we're going to get into all that. Now, typically, a lot of people, when they say stuff that's going to happen, sometimes it happens, and then other times it doesn't. So we're going to get into all that. It's a crazy old world. We got Sean O'Malley announced it, up only captain, up only indeed there, Sean. So yeah, pretty much we're going to get into that. It's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoy it. We've had big moves on the ETFs, guys, over the last week. A lot of money flowing through the ETFs. Very, very exciting. We've got Strive with the Bitcoin Digital Asset Treasury, just continuing to target the debt market, raise money and buy Bitcoin. So that's going very well. Strategy's got a little bit more work to do, but it's getting there. It's getting there. And Bitmine, of course, the number one Ethereum DAT is on the move, pushing past $25 and after hours. There's a lot of stuff. Now, we've got the core CPE, the nominal CPE out today. We'll talk about that. We've got the Nvidia results out, which was very favorable. So the AI trade well intact there. So we're going to get into all that stuff. And we're just really at the beginning of that, I think. We've got a multi-year phase of increasing AI and data center power. So computers, they say compute. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. There'll be ebbs and flows on the way, of course. All right, so shall we get into it? Without further ado, let me just pull up a few charts here. I'm going to bring up the investment chart to look at the stock market quickly and the economic data. We'll get into all that. Excuse me, and then we're going to get into the crypto majors. We're going to have a look at the ETFs and the DATs today. So I hope you guys enjoy that. We are going to just basically keep up to date with where everything's going. And I think that's really important. So let's do that. And I'm going to bring up the ETFs. Let's see here. What else we got? ETFs here. And I'll bring up the DAT. You guys love DATs. DATs. Sounds like bats, but bats and DATs. Anyway, silly jokes aside, let's have a look. We might bring up the power chart as well. And I think that's a good roundup just to get into Bitcoin. Then we're going to go to Ethereum. And then we're going to jump into PulseChain, of course, and go through there. Yeah, a few issues with the bridge, apparently. A few issues with the bridge. We'll get to the LAT and PulseChain. Let me know if you had any challenges around that. We had sort of a little bit of capital flight on that, and hopefully it's calmed down now. But we'll get to all those stuff coming up. All right, where else are we going here? All right, I think we're almost there, guys. Just setting up here. Just loading up a lot of this after the live stream starts, just so that don't have less issues going live. Which is always a thing. Last week we've had a few issues there, so I thought I'd be a bit more cautious these days. All right, I think we're good to go. I think we are good to go, as they say. Good to go. All right, don't forget to subscribe on the way in, smash the follow, and hit the repost. It helps a lot there. Let's go. And of course, we've got Sean in the house up only, so we've got a good start to the show. All right, let's get into it. Nvidia Q2 revenue more than doubles. Think about that. Q2, the biggest company on the planet, Q2 revenue more than doubles. I mean, think about that. That's just insane, really, isn't it? So, a massive thing going on there. CEO Huang says AI is at its inflection point. And look, multi-year rollouts, it's just going to only get better as well. More powerful AI, more powerful compute. There's a compute race on, right? There's a energy race on because you don't have compute, you need energy. So there's an energy boom, a compute boom. There's a digital information boom. There's an inference and intelligence boom. It is crazy. Now, there are certainly challenges and questions that I have, obviously dirty data, AI is not sentient, despite some of the tech founders saying it is, but it certainly has problems with worldviews and things like that. So it has a lot of discernment issues there, but it is still an incredible application there. And of course, let's get into it. So we've got the Dow Jones there is down 0.1%, 113 points. to 53,463. The S&P 500 is pretty flat, down 1.5 points to 7,675. Nasdaq there is just down 0.1%, 29 points to 26,130. Despite Nvidia's great result, we got a bit of a flat to slightly down market. Now, here's the kingpin. The Nvidia result came in after markets, right? So after market for the day. And you can now see the futures market is up over 0.4%, 33 points on S&P 500. So, it's going to be a short-term dip. We'll probably have a nice little rally tonight, all things holding equal, right? So even though Wednesday's results were slightly down, Nvidia results came in after market and now pretty good results. We also had during the night we had the CPE, CPE data come out, the inflation data. Those two big events, right? Two big events. So let's just move down here. We're going to talk quickly about the results there. So yeah, I mean, 70% growth makes it sound like Nvidia already secured that much memory capacity. Got a lot of stuff happening there. I just want to move forward past that. Obviously, good results there. Now, I think the revenue was expected was 92 billion, and they got 96 billion, so better than expectations on Nvidia. And the earnings per share was slightly higher at 2.2 cents per share, I believe it was. So it's kind of the stuff there. Or $2.22, sorry, per share on an adjusted basis of 96 billion in revenue. So yeah, pretty stellar results, right? 106% on year-on-year revenue. Just crazy stuff, guys. Big stuff there. Demand is accelerating this time last year, one lab alone was driving the build out. Today, we have a golden age of new AI labs and startups, multiple frontier labs scaling in parallel, a thriving open model ecosystem, and a physical AI coming online. That's the terrifying part, right? They make out like it's real good. The physical AI coming on, that is terrifying, guys, with strong momentum across the US and around the world. The AI infrastructure build out is full steam. Vera Rubin, now in production, was built to power, exactly this moment. Revenue from the data centers, its biggest segment increased 117% year on year to 89 billion. So pretty crazy. Nvidia's guidance for Q3, that's the next quarter, is 108 billion. So jumping from 92, which was what expected, and they got 96 now to 108 billion for the next quarter, plus or minus 2%. And a consensus expectation is 105. So the expectations from the market continue to rise. So that's kind of where we are. So we'll worry about that in a few months. So that's pretty much where it is on that. Now, we did have the core PCE data, so let's go to look at that on the economic calendar. Actually, before we do that, we'll come back to commodities. Normally I do commodities first, right? But let's do it while we're here. So this week on the calendar there, we had core PCE, so that takes out food and energy. We're expecting 3.3%. We got 3.3% year on year, so mid expectations. So, a little bit of a mixed market. The previous report was 3.3%. So remember, the target is 2%, so it's still elevated, right? Still elevated above the 2% there, but at least it's not bigger than, at least it's not increasing. GDP also came in at 1.5% to 1.5% for the quarter, Q2, down from last quarter, at 2.1%. So that's kind of where we are right now on the inflation there. So pretty much muted story, below the 2, still above the 2%, but not really that hawkish, I would say. And so kind of neutral to dovish. I think the result was kind of slightly more than neutral, like more hawkish. But I still think that we're probably going to get no change there. Let's see what the market thinks. I'm expecting the interest rates to move dovish over the year, and so far that's come about halfway. Let's see here. So Fed rate monitor. Let's go check out what the market thinks. 2 weeks and 2 days and 16 hours to go until the next Fed meeting on the 16th. So we're counting down just under 3 weeks now. We've got 62% of the market expecting no change. I think that has risen. So yeah, 2/3 of the market, no change. Only 37.7% expect a 25 basis point rise there. And like I say, I think that CPE data confirming that. So that's kind of good. That's kind of moving towards a tailwind. Let's say it's a minor tailwind at the moment, and let's hopefully it moves to a major tailwind moving forward there, right? So we've still got another couple of items of inflation. We've got CPI and PPI, I think, well before this meeting. So we still think we've got 2 or 3 indicators plus an employment indicator, right? So still got that to influence this chart. So we'll see what happens. October, it's got 44% expecting a 25 basis point rate rise, 46% expecting no. So, depending what happens with the data between before September and before October, so probably two more data sets, two more monthly data sets, then where will this go to by then? But so far, it's going to a no change rather than a rate rise, so that's good news. December, 45% expecting a 25 basis point, so still one rate rise, really locking in here for the year. But will that dissipate? Will that move to a neutral, no rate rise, or a really, really dovish and get at least one rate decrease actually by the time we get there? We'll just keep tracking the data so far. Oil prices, of course, have been elevated, and we'll check out that in a minute as well with commodities. So let's go to commodities. We've got West Texas at the moment at $82. It's come down a little bit there. Let's go to the weekly chart there. You can see, we got down as low as just below $80 in the last day or so. And can we see that here? Yeah, we popped just below $80 for a brief moment. That's getting exciting when we get below $80. Brent oil there is $86.72. And of course, that's been up and down. Look at that, it was $85, then went to $88, and now it's back down to $86.70. Still a bit of work to be done there to get below $80. Gold at the moment is up 0.5% almost, $4,674. Silver is up 1.5%, up $1 to 69. So really looking good there for silver as a climb back. And of course, copper, you guys know my favorite there. Expecting a breakout in that's $6.62 right now. So there's copper. So that's pretty much it for the moment for the markets. So Nvidia came in after markets. Wednesday was not so hot, but Thursday could be hot, guys. Maybe 0.5%, maybe 1% gain, maybe 1.5% gain in the Nasdaq. Let's see what happens when it opens up. But certainly looking peppy for tonight, which should buoy the crypto markets as well. And of course, remember, Nvidia does well. Then what else does well? Well, Ethereum and everything else is downstream in terms of the AI. And so we'll talk about that too. So when we got the CPI, the Ethereum was sort of coming back down to 2440, and then when we got the Nvidia result out, it started rising back over 2500, and of course Bitcoin was still subdued. So Ethereum, they're getting quite a bit of love on the software / AI downstream event here, and of course we know AI and tokenization are the big themes moving forward. So it's kind of the zone there. Let's jump over to crypto. We're 13 minutes in the hour now. Don't forget to smash out the repost button on X, and don't forget to subscribe and follow as well. All right, let's do a refresh here for the markets, just to make sure we've got the latest and greatest. Well, we're sitting at $2.76 trillion. That's $2.76 trillion. We're up 0.8%, so almost 1%, not quite. We've got a Bitcoin at the moment showing at just below $79,000, or it's $78,892 on average. Some of the exchanges will be just over this amount, no doubt. We're up 0.2% on the 24 hours. We are down 0.4% in the current hour, so it was kind of getting peppy. We're still over $2,500 on Ethereum, looking really good. Look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin's up 0.2%, but Ethereum's up 2.1%. Like I say, downstream from Nvidia and the AI trade there is Ethereum and, of course, agentic AI. So very exciting there. I think that's a really great signal for Ethereum. Just remember that one. We've got BNB there at number 4, up 1.3%, $704. We've got XRP at number 5, down 2.1%, $1.41. Solana there up 4.4%. Solana also benefiting downstream for the AI trade as well, particularly Ethereum and Solana, right? Should get picked up nicely there. $101 too on Solana. Are we going to rip on Solana? Is it going to go rip off to 130, 150? Let's see what happens with Solana there, over the $100 mark there. Pretty exciting. Tron there at number 8, down 0.3%, 33.5 cents. Hyperliquid there up 2%, having a pretty good time overnight too, holding up over $82. It's $81.77 right now, up 2%. And look what's coming. What has switched out here on the CoinGecko is that Zcash has flipped Dogecoin, guys. That is crazy. Now, I think that Dogecoin is waiting for Elon Musk and X Money Wallet to go full crypto, but that's further down the line, maybe further in a couple of months of this year. That's probably the Dogecoin play, and of course the general meme as well play. And we have seen Pepe and other meme coins, do quite well recently. But Zcash there is the privacy play, and of course been getting picked up by a lot of similar players that have been around Bitcoin for many years. And Zcash has been on the rise, hasn't it? So up 4.5% today, $808, flipping Dogecoin. Look at that, 13.6 billion So it's 13.633 billion versus 13.578 billion over Dogecoin there. Dogecoin, though, still up 1.1% at 8.7 cents. So some interesting things happening in the crypto majors, right? Let's jump over to the top 5 and the top 100. We've got SPX 6900 is back again, like the Backstreet Boys. What's that orb called in Las Vegas? The one with the big globe. Is it called the globe? Pretty amazing. Backstreet Boys got a big performance there. Apparently, it's rave reviews, and of course they jump out of the sky, don't they? Jumped out of the sky. So check that out. Backstreet Boys are back again. Can't beat out these 90s boy bands. I just remember over the late 90s, early 2000s, remember all the guys walking around with the pants down and everything. That used to hack me off, that stuff. It was the only negative side of the culture at the time. We got VeChain at the moment up 14.2% at 6,500th of a penny. Pump Fund up 7.9% again, looking pretty good there. WorldCoin Digital ID up 6.4%, and Trump there up 5% there at $2.28. I don't think too many people cared too much now about that. Trump got a bit of a tailwind there from the Trump White House meeting, right? Maybe it's a bit of a FOMO there. So those are the top 5, and just below that, look at that. It's Zcash and Solana. How interesting is that, right? And I got to make honorable mention to Tao down here as well. Baptista Tao got to be one of the better plays in the AI space, right? Moving forward, Baptista Tao. So keep a lookout for that. Also, remember the chair of Nvidia there talking about the Tao experiment that they did on live TV. So all that. All right, over the last week, let's see what's happened. SPX for 6,900 still at the top here, sitting at number 95. So come into the top 100 again, 68% on the increase. Pump Fund, one of the biggest revenue earners, although high risk, high return play, is up 61.8%. Improved tokenomics there as well. Athena on the ETH play up 56%. Pudgy Penguins, the meme coin that Tom Lee loves, finally having a bit of a breakout and up 46%. And then Zcash moving into number 5, 42% there. And interesting stuff over the following those top 5: VeChain, Pepe, Aave, etc. So pretty interesting. Obviously lighted down here. So a lot of big plays going on that people are trying to bet on, right? So those are the top 5 and the top 100. Over the top 1,000 right now, NISA, I should say, is up up 900%. BitLayer up 280%, and Polyswarm up 262%. So those are the top 1,000 gainers right now. You can check them out in your own time to see what's driving those, but pretty massive gains. Trending overall, Pons, a cash cat from Solana, up to 30%. What a rebound on that. If you caught that, in fact, we covered that on live stream at the bottom. Remember, said, oh man, this could be a good pickup. Well, that's been a wonderful play, isn't it, on the rise there? And Pudgy Penguins finally made a play that is trending as well. So there we go. Overall, market cap almost up 1%. Bitcoin holding up pretty nicely as we see. Let's zoom in on Bitcoin. Let's zoom. All right, I haven't got the chart up, but we're getting there. All right, Bitcoin, guys. Bitcoin. Now, apparently, here's a little fun fact. If you own, I don't know how many people own this much out there, but if you own 0.73 Bitcoin, so if you own 0.73 Bitcoin, so think about that, then you are in the top 0.001 holders, apparently. So there we go. If you hold 0.73 Bitcoin, you were in the top 0.001 holders, apparently. So there we go. It's obviously got a very skewed distribution, and that makes you quite the superstar. So yeah, just think about that. So if you are looking to, if you're one of those people looking to get one Bitcoin, if you haven't already got one Bitcoin, maybe you got 10 Bitcoin, I don't know. But if you're looking to get one Bitcoin, then just getting to 0.73 puts you in the top 0.001%. So a bit of fun fact there. So yeah, onwards and upwards. As we get this era of abundance with the intelligence age, we're also going to get scarcity, and that's where Bitcoin becomes the scarcity play the most, probably the most scarce, right? Even gold's inflating by 1.5%, depending on the gold price. The higher the gold price, the more people dig the world up to find it, and of course silver's inflating about 10% a year. So you sort of see some of the numbers there that work out well for Bitcoin. And of course, we know Bitcoin supply, we're going to have 2 more halvings by 2032. By the time we get to 2032, we're going to have 330 Bitcoin left remaining. It's pretty crazy. And just in the last week, we've seen massive buying from the ETFs. We'll get to that in a minute. All right, so here is Bitcoin. This is our weekly chart, guys. Let's look to the hourly, though. Let's get rid of this and look to the hourly. And look at that. So not bad, right? Not bad. I mean, I think we're kind of holding up pretty well. We peaked out here at 81,249. That's on the hourly chart. And we came all the way down here with a couple little lower lows, I would say, at 77,600. And now we just almost, we're going over 79,122 just 2 hours ago. And now we're back down at 78,800. So we're kind of looking pretty good though, right? It's kind of looking pretty good. There's slight up slant there. You can see that in the yellow line on the 50 hourly moving average, and the 200 hourly moving averages are coming up as well. Kind of interesting, right? So it did pretty well. You know, we had the core CPE, we had the Nvidia result, which is going to play out in the stock market tonight, and also downstream in the crypto markets, and of course ETH and Solana, probably the principal beneficiaries of that, as well as all the specific AI blockchains and dApps. So yeah, pretty cool, 78, and this is looking good, I think. Obviously, we've got a bit of resistance there to get over. You know, getting over 79,250, getting well over that kind of key, and moving up there. So we're going to do another challenge though of this mark here. Now, obviously, people also talking about, oh, we're going to get some sort of massive, takedown, and we've had those many times before. But I don't know, just have a feeling that we're going to be pretty good here, and obviously we're going to have some consolidation period. But just have a feeling that moving into the 15th September, we're looking pretty strong. So let's see. I mean, I could get proven wrong by market makers, but what's going to take us down? You know, what is going to, have to be a pretty powerful market maker take us down there. Of course, they exist, but what is the reason? What is the reason, I guess, is the question. Now, we've seen some pretty. There was one trader, I can't remember what I think they did $50 million short of Bitcoin. I think it was Bitcoin, and they had made many great trades over the years, and then they did like a $50 million short, and then they got, because the price went up, they got wiped out, and they basically lost all the stuff they had ever made over that time, pretty much. It's pretty brutal, right? Pretty brutal. That's why we generally don't suggest doing perpetuals or margin trading. If you want to do it. But if you do it, you've got to be very good at risk management. You got to know what your TA is and the fundamentals, and you also, the number one thing, you got to have emotional control. That's probably the biggest thing there, and have your stop losses and risk management in play. So just note that. Obviously, a lot of the big streamers, they're pumping those margin trader referrals out all the time. Just be very cautionary out there, because maybe 1 in 100 do well at using margin trading over time. All right, so it's probably 1 in 1,000 actually, probably the case. Hexvader in house. Hey gang, great to see Hexvader. Welcome to the chat. Awesome stuff. We're building up a nice little audience here today. All right, so look at that chart. Still looking pretty healthy, right? Still looking pretty healthy. And look at the daily. This is the daily chart. Look at that. We've got the 50 daily moving average at 66,400. We've got the 200-day in orange at 69,218. And here we are at 78,846, right? So very cool chart here. Let's go to the weekly though as well. I didn't do the 4 hour, I don't think, but let's go to the weekly here. Look at the resistance. We're right now on the Bitcoin chart here, right at the 50 weekly moving average. Look at that, interesting, eh? Now you guys know, let's add our overlays. Bam. No, I want to add the overlays. There we go. All right. So that is the weekly candles. We obviously had the top of the market last year in October at 127,300. I think it was kind of a muted top. I think it was kind of an intermediary top. I still think we got the banana curve ahead of us for the real big rally. We got number 2 down here, and then number 3. Now number 3 is what we're trying to get over. That's that orange line. We've already beaten the downtrend, right, on here. We haven't got our final confirmation, in my view, right? I'm keeping it very simple, right? There's lots of measures you can, try to measure to say the bear market's over. But, we've beaten this major downtrend. That's the first thing, right? We've got arguably, I think this is the most powerful wick, if I remember rightly, in Bitcoin history, if I remember rightly. I'm pretty sure that we just had. And so, it's pretty powerful. We've got the Clarity Act coming in on the 15th. We've got the insurance policy now. In other words, we're in a win-win position. Now there's big win and there's medium win, right? So big win is clarity. Medium win is the SEC and CFTC doing regulations. And of course, we see the SEC moving back again today with custody. So they're on the move, right? They're on the move. So that is in the play right now. And we've only, we're ticking away towards that date. And I think that once we pass it, we've got the insurance policy in place. So kind of like we're in a win-win. And so at the moment, we have got the price here at 78,708, let's say 800, and we're trying to get over here, over this 50 moving average, which is now at $81,064. And then we've got to get over this level here, and that's around 82,300, let's say. So 82,300, key to get over this level. So that's like a, almost like a $1,200 range in there, right? A range in there, just in that little area there. So I think, we've got a good chance of doing that. There's obviously a lot of resistance, like sell walls there. But, we got it's like a 5% move, guys, just get above that. So let's see what we do. Let's see what we do. Pretty amazing results so far. And a big power move there. Now, so obviously some people are expecting on the bear side, expecting a big retrace, and obviously the stronger, the less that we go down, if that does occur, the better. But alternatively, we might have green weeks, one after another, heading into the 15th of September, which I kind of feel like we're going to do for some reason. Obviously, all the reasons we talk about, so it's not based on just on emotion, but actually, really powerful tailwinds, and we might get something like this, right? These green weeks on the upside. We might do this to break the bear market on this upside, given that we've got special events going on with this clarity, and we've got a win-win situation. So kind of cool. Then, of course, we had the Fed chair talking about intervening in the 10-year, 30-year bond markets, and even if it's symbolic, it's still kind of people say the basement trade, right, which is back to the heart of Bitcoin. So kind of really interesting. And of course, we've also now got another theme playing out, abundance, right? So that's a new theme. So store of value kind of got tested and kind of rejected for a little bit. The basement trade kind of parked on the side, now back on the field. And of course, now we've got this abundance trade, which seems inevitable now, where people will look for scarcity in a world of abundance. So, and Bitcoin is the ultimate, right? Arguably, right? So very exciting times here with the old charts here at the moment as we move forward. So kind of cool. All right, so we've got the currently 200 weekly moving average at 64,575. We powered through that. And just think about it. So we bet the resistance. We had a little bit of consolidation channel, and then we powered up. So it was pretty awesome. So up we go here. We just powered up through that. So we've got one final leg to go, guys. One final leg to go. Let's see how we get on at 82,300 and see what we close out this week with work. Obviously, very important week to close out. Now, we've got the Fed meeting on Friday. It's in about a day and a half for the chair. It's going to be the forward look. Hopefully, we'll get some sort of forward picture of where he's thinking around interest rates, and that's a big trigger. So if we do get a trigger down, maybe if it's negative, it's considered hawkish. We could see the market then give us a bit of a sell-off here in Bitcoin. So that might be the catalyst that the bears are talking about. Alternatively, if it's kind of neutral to dovish, then we could see the markets rally up and we get these green weeks one after another heading into the Clarity Act vote, right? So that's kind of the plays there. All right, the other thing, that's sort of the big matrix picture, but we've also got the digital credit picture, right, with the treasuries. So we'll get into that. But before we do that, though, let's go to the DATs. So let's jump over to DATs. I'm going to move this Bitcoin chart over here. Let's go to the DATs. So digital asset treasuries. We're going to ETFs, the exchange traded funds. My bad. We've got look at this buying this week, guys. So last week a lot of buying. This week a lot of buying, and huge numbers, right? So we could put it into US dollars. I mean, look at the numbers here, guys. Absolutely amazing. Let me hear. So what am I doing here? Monday here we had $337 million in net buying coming in, guys. 300 million on Tuesday, and 31 million so far on the print for the 26th. But look at that money coming in, guys. Really amazing. And look at last week. Last week was awesome. So we had 300 million, 190 million, over $500 million, another 600 million. And then we finished Friday with 307 million. So huge numbers. Was that 2 billion or something? Really big deal. And so the money is flowing, guys, into Bitcoin. Very cool. All right, so that is some good stuff happening there with the old ETFs. Money is flowing there. Now, the other one I want to get to is the Bitcoin treasuries, because this is another avenue of money, and it's a big one, right? We're targeting the 300 to 350 trillion dollar debt markets with superior yield products and backed by Bitcoin, right? So strategy at the moment, MSTR common stock holds 840,000 Bitcoin, number one digital asset treasury, and Strive here, number 7 is ASST is the common stock ticker there, and that's at 21,356. It's really been moving on the up and up there. and not far, I think, until it takes bullish out, and probably within the next week. So very exciting there. Now let's go to the different asset treasuries and see how this is going. Obviously, the more money they can raise from the debt markets, they can buy Bitcoin, and of course, this is all positive cycle stuff, and on top of the ETFs, right? Very, very cool. So let's jump into the prices. At the moment, Stretch is still not reached $100. So Michael Saylor's Stretch still sitting below par there. $2.70, guys. $2.70, still pretty similar yesterday. That orange line is the $100 mark. They need to get to that so they can issue more Stretch, raise more money from the debt markets, and buy more Bitcoin, and potentially billions of dollars and tens of thousands of Bitcoin. Remember, we had the Bitcoin chart. Remember, ETFs. If we go back to the BTC, we had it buying, thousands of Bitcoin. Let's say 10,000, or we could end up buying 10 to 30,000 probably Bitcoin, depending on how much they raise through Stretch once they get back to $100, right? Because they have big volumes going through that tracker, and all that money starts to float around crypto, right? Sloshes around and gets into altcoin season, right? So at the moment, they peaked out towards the end of the night. They got up to $97.60, which is about $2.40. $2.40 shy of $100. So they're working there. They're working their way back, guys. They're working there. Are they going to do it before the end of August, though? Time's running out. Maybe it's the beginning of September now that they'll make that. Looks like more likely now, doesn't it? But guess what, guys? We've got good news. We've got good news because Strive, the number 7 digital asset treasury, the ticker is ASST, has got their own preferred stock there, and that's SATA, right? And that's offering a slightly higher yield, 13%. That is back at $100, baby, and that has been printing since Thursday last week, and up and up. So last week it did 430 Bitcoin. So far it has raised another. This is an estimate, so it's probably higher, but 187 Bitcoin so far. Let's have a look at this week's tally. So we're going to go 24th. This will be disclosed in next week's update. But they've done enough to get how much here? 250 on Monday. We'll take that. Let's see on Tuesday. 250 plus another 215. So what's that? 465. We're doing pretty well. And of course, Wednesday last night, another 187. So what did I say? I've already forgotten. 450, 460, 465, 565, 35. So what's that? 650 Bitcoin. So pretty good stuff there, and you can see it's trading really nicely. Look at that, all that trading over $100. Oh my gosh, that's so good. So this is a game changer, right? So that's 650 Bitcoin, and they're probably on track for 1,000 Bitcoin this week, right? Last week they bought 1,100 with equity issuance for AST, and of course here we are again. So imagine Strive's doing so well here. The price is going through the roof. I think it went over $22 on the common stock. And where are we going next for? Once we get strategy back at $100, and I'm sure it's going to get this very soon. Then they're going to be at scale against this, right? So they're not buying 1,000 Bitcoin, but buying 10,000 Bitcoin or something like that, right? So big numbers. Very cool. And you add the ETFs that are buying thousands and thousands of Bitcoin, you get it. There's big numbers there. We've got Hexavator and House. Pruvex is pumping. And we've got Valiant and House. Greetings all. Pruvex is on the move again. So a lot of Pruvex people there. Now, we're going to get to Pruvex later on. We're going to talk about that when we get to PulseChain as we we'll go through the majors. So we're doing crypto majors right now. So the ETFs are pumping. We're almost back on the debt preferred stock, buying Bitcoin. Positive flywheel in place, right? So let's have a quick look at the power law here as well. I'm not sure which one I pulled up here. The coin. I pulled up the coin one here. It's not my favorite, so it's not my favorite. Let's jump out of here and let's go find my other one. Let's go to Bitbo here. Yeah, this is my favorite one here. And look at that. We're going to zoom in on the current period. Look at that, guys. We bounced off. We're off the floor there, looking real good. What are we on there? The 26th of August. So we're sitting, I'm going to do 27. So we're sitting 63,100 on the floor. We're currently at 78,700. So we're like 15,500 above the floor now. It's crazy, isn't it? And we got the midpoint at 178 and the resistance at 620. But of course, as you guys know, the end of the year mark, 200,000 for Bitcoin, and the floor at 70,742, which we're already above. So $200,000 Bitcoin. Anyone keen for that? That'd be pretty cool. Now we're expecting big numbers, and of course, by the time next year, you're talking about 230,000 per Bitcoin in the green line. So nice little banana curve in there, right? Banana curve off to the moon there. That'd be pretty cool. All right, so that's pretty much the Bitcoin. I'm going to pull up the Ethereum stuff now. Let's do that. And if you're loving the content, smash the sub and hit the share on X. That helps a lot. Helps a lot. Let me go to Ethereum here. Looking good. All right, let's go to the hourly too. Let's start with the hourly for Ethereum. We're going to go to the Ethereum ETFs as well. Have a look at that. Now, we do have some news around Bitmine too for the week. Let's see. Let's get rid of the power law there. And bam. All right. I don't know what I've got on the overlays, but let's have a look at Ethereum. Ethereum there looking really good. I must remember to look at the Ethereum to BTC ratio too. Remind me if I forget. All right, so here we are on the Ethereum. We are looking at $2,504. This is the hourly chart, right? So we had a couple of attempts. Best attempt back here on the hourly was to get up to around about 2,546. We've come down to, on the hourly there to 2,357. That's like a $200 move, isn't it? And then we're back up. So recently we've got higher highs in here, really. We're getting ready for another go. And we got the positive Nvidia trading tonight with the stock market. Downstream from that with the AI, you get the story. That's the story. And we got a nice pickup there on the video. Look at that. Bit of caution with the inflation data, but a nice pickup there on the video. So really cool on that outcome there. All right. So that's kind of cool. But we do have on Friday in about a day and a half, we got the Fed chair speech, right? What's he going to say? That's the big thing there. So far, he's been not very talkative, but I kind of get what he's doing. I think he's going to be dovish, and I think he's going to change the data sets. Let's see whether he can do that with these 5 groups that he set up. I think it's needed, guys. I think it's well needed. We need to move away from the old school Federal Reserve into a new world, use real-time data, maybe Trueflation, maybe trim Chicago inflation, something like that, and let's move on. Let's move on there. We want to have an economy that grows, not that gets slammed down, not that gets smashed and bashed. An economy that grows, but you can only do that if you've got an administration that's expanding supply, and that's what Trump's been doing, right? Expanding energy, expanding manufacturing, expanding technology. You can only do that if you're going to be expanding your economy. It depends where. There's always a monetarist approach to things as well, but we want growth society there, and America unleashed, right? America unleashed. All right, so there we are, $2,501 sitting there on the Ethereum right now. Let's go to the shorter time frames. Let's go to we'll do the 4 hour on the Ethereum. You can see that. Look at that 4 hour 58 moving average. Look at that thing. Woo-hoo-hoo. Isn't that rocketing? It's up to 2,369 now. That's pretty crazy, right? Pretty crazy. Now, I haven't got the RSIs on here. You can add them on yourselves, but there we go. Look at that, looking pretty good. Nice consolidation here too, just cooling our RSIs down. But look, what do you see, guys? Zoom. This is the daily, guys. Oh my God, look at that. I'm getting emotional. Never be emotional, guys. Never be emotional, but you can have fun with it. All right, so we've got 50. 50 here is sitting at $1,977 on the 50 daily moving average. The 200 is at 2016. You guys know every day we cover this, and it closes up like $10. The gap closes up. The gap now, guys, is what's that? 23, 43, 49. Let's say $40. $40 is the gap now. We got a golden cross coming up on here, guys. That's generally a bullish sign. So just take note of that. That is very cool. Look at that. Woohoo! Let's put a little circle on that because we love drawing. Not real drawing, but pretend drawing. We are so close. Look at that, guys. Woo! Look at that. I love it. All right, let's get rid of it now. You guys get it. The golden cross. I should probably put a golden T or something, shouldn't I? I don't know. Do I have a T? I guess I could use a box T. Golden cross there. But anyway, you guys get the idea. Jokes aside. All right, so look at that. That is a beautiful thing. That is a very good, beautiful thing there. What a lovely time that will be. Now, we know we've got this consolidation moving sideways, kind of got this upwards slope here. Obviously, we've got to get over these marks. Let's have a look at the weekly. This is the big story, the 4-year cycle kind of thing. Let's have a look at that. I'm going to have to reset the auto data. But look at that. Not only do we have the golden cross coming up on the daily, but at the moment, we've kind of got the reversal, right? We've got 50 coming down the opposite. But I think it's just going to maybe slightly go below and then bounce to the upside, right? So I think it's just going to be a bouncer. Valence says we're so close. Yeah, we are. We are so close. All right, so very cool. Let's getting up here. So we got the 200 weekly average. So it's kind of like the 4-year cycle, right? It's at $2,497, and that's pretty much, it's a slow mover at the moment. And then we've got the 50 weekly moving average at 25.83. So there's not a lot of gap, right? There's only what's $81 gap between the 50-day there and where we are right now, and we're sitting on top of the 200 weekly moving average. Remember, it's we're $5 above, approximately $4 or $5 above the 200 weekly average, and we're only just below by about $81 from the 50 week moving average. So just a little bump there, a 3% move, guys, a 3% move. Whoop, 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 whoop. We got it, and it's all gold. So what do we say? We need a 5% move on Bitcoin, a 3% move on ETH. We've got a nice little move up there following Nvidia. We've got Nvidia opening up tonight, so we're looking good, I think, for tonight, guys, with the markets. I mean, what's the defeater, right? You're always saying, what's the headwind? And at the moment, this seems like another tailwind. In a day and a half, though, we're back to it. We've got another crossroad, right? Is it going to be a tailwind or is it going to be a headwind? And that is the Fed chair and what he says, if anything, about being dovish or so forth. So we'll see with that when it comes up to it. And no one knows. We don't know. We've got to wait. So far, I think he's moving dovish, and that's where I feel he's going. So we'll see. And the data's been relatively muted. So kind of cool. Very cool stuff, guys. And of course, look what we saw last year. You guys know it. We got the big move, right? Let me add the overlays there. Now, the overlays here, of course, we want to get over that circle. That's the area. And of course, last year, this is the comparison. 133 days, we did a 3.5x on stablecoins, Genius Act, on DATs coming in, the digital asset treasuries, tariff relief, and of course, a short cover, right? What kicked this off, right? See, this is a little bit different from the Bitcoin one. So we had the downtrend. We've beaten out the downtrend on the bear market. Then we had this consolidation area, and then pow up we came. And now we're on the final hurdle, guys. On Ethereum, we've already covered the third lower high. Unlike Bitcoin, which has still got to get over there with a 5% move, we've actually covered that already. Yeah, very exciting. Now, if we close this week above those areas too, that is another lock-in, right? So we're almost there, but not yet. We're over the 200 weekly. We close above that. You can say we've got a junction center here, crossroad of all these horizontal averages, the moving averages. It is very big deal this week. And so a nice close above that would be very important. Now, I think the close we need is above 2,600. Some people say 2,550, but I think 2,600 would be nice, giving us a bit of clear there. And then, of course, there's not a big gap of liquidity on the sell side and on the order books. And so we could power all the way up to 28 to 33,000 very quickly, guys, very quickly if we close this week. Let's say above 2,550, but I think between 2,600 to be safe. We're bow up we go and heading towards 3,000 very quickly there. There is quite a big sell gap there, 28K. I think 2,800 is kind of when we first hit that. Could be very exciting, guys. Very exciting there on the sell wall, just jumping up real quick. Instead of this bear case of sell off, we could have multiple weeks here. Given that we've got a very important SEC event and of course now insurance sitting in the background and liquidity event with the SEC, and then we're going to get with the Treasury, and then we're going to find out about the Fed on Friday. You kind of got to see it's a very important week this week. Again, 2 important weeks, but look, it looks like every week's important, doesn't it? Heading into that 15th of September mark there, even if the market hasn't priced it, which is a good thing, right? Market's not pricing that. Market's kind of saying, well, we're in a win-win. We can go up now, right? So kind of cool. And look what happened last year. And that wasn't even as powerful as what this year is in many ways, because now we've also got tokenization and agentic AI. We've got institutional adoption like crazy now in all the firms, and particularly the setup with Bitmine, the number one digital asset treasury. So they bought last week. They bought, I think it was close to 40,000 ETH. Now they've already bought yesterday. I think they bought another 20,000 ETH. And of course, their MNAV has been over 1, which means that they can go to the market. The timing has been perfect for Michael Saylor's strategy and perfect for Bitmine to be going to market for capital. And they also have the big liquidity as well, right? So it's a win-win. And they've been positioning themselves stronger there. And so upwards and onwards towards that 5%. So very exciting stuff there with Bitmine. And of course, they also listed in the Russell 1000, also on the big board. So they could see big pushes there, and they closed aftermarket based on the Nvidia upgrade and Ethereum pump. They closed at $25.50 on the aftermarket prices. Fantastic. What are they going to open to tonight, guys? And they've got a big gap as well, all the way up to maybe the $28 to $30. Let's see what happens there. And of course, if Ethereum does decide to jump up, cross these marks by the end of the week, and we're up at going up to 28 to 33,000 in the bull case, then Bitmine's going to get re-rated dramatically there because the capital just flows, or thousands of institutions and wealth managers there flood into the Russell-backed. Tom Lee knows what he's doing, guys. Remember, he is a crossover genius from stock market to crypto. He's one of the early stock guys to get into crypto, and he's made a lot of his granny flat guys, the fund strat guys, very wealthy with the Bitcoin rise since the early days, right? So he's kind of the perfect guy, and access to capital, big time access to capital. And of course, Bitmine is now back over, I think, $15 billion. They've still got paper losses, right? I think we have to get up to about $3,100 or something like that. But that is very, very exciting. In fact, let's have a look at BM&R Rocks and have a look at Bitmine there. Bitmine is our leader in the industry now, right? So this is why we look at the big picture, guys, because the big picture is what's going to actually pump your bags. 89% of the big picture, the macro variables, the cycles, and of course the leaders in the industry and the key themes. Those are the four kind of macro components. That's why we look at them so intently, right? So that we're well informed. All right, so you see BM&R closed 24.91 on the regular hours, but actually closed, I think, at 25.50 on the post-market hours there on that Nvidia news. So we know tonight's could be pretty special, especially with the futures up on the S&P 500 up over almost at 0.5%. So it's exciting times. Keep a lookout for that, because those opening hours will open up. But we're probably about 6 hours away from pre-market, and then we're another, I don't know, maybe 11.5 hours from the regular hours. So keep a lookout for that. Obviously, tokenization's out there, and some of those meta stocks are trading anyway. So kind of cool. All right, so this shows the MNAV at 98, but we have had an MNAV of 1, and it's very exciting. And look at that close. So you got $25.31, but I have seen on the regular hours it was at $25.50. So up and up, and of course there's a big gap, could jump quickly to $28, $30 very quickly there on Bitmine. Very exciting stuff, guys, very exciting. All right, so that's Ethereum looking pretty good at the crossroads. I think we're just wait. Once we get to 2,600, we close that on a weekly candle. I think the bear market's pretty much in for that, rather than a bear trap in the bear, a bull trap in the bear market. So we're at that crossroads, but Ethereum looking particularly strong, and tonight could be particularly juicy. And of course, the only thing that could take us down by the end of the week, arguably, maybe some profit taking in the weekend, but really maybe the Fed chair, right? So it's getting a little bit like that. Now, none of us know the future, right? So we're just playing a kind of probability game. We're trying to get all the tailwinds versus the headwinds. We're playing all this sort of stuff here, but actually it's kind of shaping up real nicely, I think, so far. All right, and the strength of that power move, right, on that weekly candle was pretty impressive. All right, let's jump over to the ETFs. Well, ETFs are looking good too for Ethereum in particular. They're looking spectacular. I just can't believe the numbers here. So let's look at Monday. 47,000 Ethereum bought, guys. 47,000. I just told you that Bitmine bought another 20. And of course, we've got whales buying as well. And then look, Tuesday, 72,470 Ethereum bought up by the ETFs. Just one market participant, right? The ETFs, exchange traded funds. And then today so far, at least on Wednesday, 28,790 Ethereum bought up. It's just spectacular results. But look at last week, Thursday, 97,000, Friday, 79,000, and all last week, 97,000, 37. The ETH on exchanges is disappearing, guys. It is disappearing. Let's go have a look at the ETH on exchanges. Let's have a look here. Is it Glassnode? Well, I think Glassnode. Let's all look. Hopefully this is the right one. All right, this was not prepared beforehand. Not prepared beforehand. What the hell is this? That's not what I wanted. Okay, that's not the one I'm after, guys. Where's the one that I'm after? Let me just switch charts here and let me go hunt it down. ETH on exchanges. I had it up the other day, so what's happened there? We haven't bought it up that much. That's probably why I haven't have it on my presets here. Is that the one? Or maybe this is the one, Crypto Quant. Yeah, Crypto Quant, I think is the one I normally look at. Yes, it is, sir. Crypto Quant. Let's have a look at the ETH chart there. Coming back. Hey, we got Diamond Hand in the house. Hey, big shout there. Big thumbs up to you, man. Big thumbs up. Don't forget, if you're loving the content, don't forget to smash the subscribe on YouTube. We're streaming on 3 YouTube channels. And of course, if you're on X, we're also streaming there as well, X Live. And if you're on X, don't forget to smash the follow. And importantly, smash the repost button, those 2 little arrows, share it around, right? We are the largest PulseChain influencer channel doing the most comprehensive coverage. In fact, I think we're the only one that does comprehensive coverage. In other words, we go through all the top 100 on PulseChain. We cover the key issues and the key project rollouts. Very, very cool. So if you love that, share the word. Share the word. All right, let's get back into the Ethereum chart as we move on. Move on there. A bit of stuff there. Look at this ETH here down, pretty awesome. We're down to 15,060,000 ETH on exchanges, guys. Remember when the DATs came in back last year, June last year? We were up at 21.25 million. We're all the way down now to 15 million, and I think we're going below this very quickly. Actually, we're down to 15,005,000 ETH, guys. We are just about to go below 15 mil. So that's a 6.25 million lower ETH on exchanges since just June last year. So we're talking about, 11 months or something. Isn't that crazy? 12 months. So huge stuff there. And look at the price of ETH rising up there, guys. Watch that chart up to the upside, right? So we've got ETFs coming in. We've got DATs coming in, right? Buying more. We've got the whales coming in. They came in quite early. They're coming in. So we've got all these players. We've got obviously retail buying up some stuff. We've got some sovereign states out there buying stuff up as well. It's on the up and up. And of course, the big banks buying too. So it's pretty exciting. And Ethereum is getting hyperstate. We saw that's up at 2.2 million ETH going in right now. No ETH wanting to come out. I think 1 ETH guy, 32 million. 32 ETH coming out. So everyone wants to stake. Exchanges, all the ETHs getting bought up. The exchanges are, the balances are going down. It's up and away, right? It's up and away. And of course, we got this AI theme as well playing out, as well as tokenization. It's a good time in the old cryptos. All right, that's pretty cool. Let's jump away. So that is looking good, guys. Everything holding up very nicely on the Ethereum there. So that's going to lead us into PulseChain. And everyone's talking about ProveX in the chat there. So we're going to talk about that too today. We're going to talk about that today. Wouldn't it be funny if there's anything I didn't talk about? It would be kind of stupid though, wouldn't it? It would be funny, but not in a dark humor type of way. Dark humor. We got Q quantifiable in the house there. Let's go, baby. RH has some new tweets for a BTC, guys, and Pulse update. We'll go check that out. We'll check that out. And Valiant says, Superman, reminder ETH BTC. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate that. See, Valiant comes in every day. Every day he comes in. He gives me the rock and roll. So let's go back. We're going to do the ETH BTC ratio. Thanks very much for that. It's always encouraging when someone reminds me of that. And let's go find it. So ETH BTC. This has been very exciting, hasn't it? The ETH BTC there. Let's go. There's so many things I didn't talk about on this charts, but we could prattle on for at least an hour there on the key stuff there. But we're going to get into PulseChain and see where that's going at the moment. All right, so let's get back here, and this is proudly sponsored by Valiant, and no sponsor was paid in this move, or no sponsor was paid. All right, so let's get into it. This is the ETH BTC ratio. Look, it's up, right? So you can see we came off the local bottom in June at 2.5%. So Ethereum was worth 2.5% of Bitcoin, and now we're up at almost 3.2%. We're not far away, and we're above the 50 weekly moving average. So we're on the up and up, right? Getting more valuable compared to Bitcoin. And it's exciting. It's exciting. We have had a little spike when we had that candle up to 3.3%. We've got now the 200 weekly moving average at just below 4.5%. So once we re-rate, guys, it's a big re-rate. Take on account, Bitcoin. So Bitcoin narrative, debasement trade with the SEC, with the Treasury and Scott Bessent. Now, obviously, we've got this bigger theme, this scarcity versus abundance with the intelligence age. And then we've got the store of value, right? So we've got all these narratives around that. And we've got the supply slowly shrinking, right? Very cool. So we've got lots of cool things happening with the Bitcoin, and maybe the Bitcoin reserve in the United States starts buying. Who knows? We'll see. And lots of cool things, right? You guys know it. And now we've got Ethereum, though. But Ethereum is just getting massive institutional adoption happening. We've got all these 4 nodes now commercializing Ethereum to make it on the offensive, the winner. We've got these DATs that are supporting the leadership with Tom Lee. with Joseph Shalom, Joseph Lubin, the co-founder of Ethereum. So we've got all that leadership there, and the DATs there are, for the most part, permanent capital, including some of the staking revenue. Right, it's going to go back into the system, particularly for SharpLink / SBET. So we've got a lot of pool stuff there, and then we've got these mega themes playing. Right, so we've obviously got the cycle going well. We've got rotation from AI. We're downstream from AI. We've got agentic AI. We've got a tokenization boom, and then we've got the stablecoin boom as well. Now, coming up in in October, we've got the DTCC coming in with their full production. Remember, they're the waterworks company for settlements in TradeFi. They're coming to blockchain, and they're bringing over, potentially trillions of dollars, right? They got 114 trillion under management, 4.6 quadrillion in settlements last year. This is the big juggernaut, right? This is the kraken of settlement coming to blockchain, and Ethereum and Solana and others are going to benefit, along with Canton and many others. So got all that mega theme happening there. And then we've got agentic AI taking off as well. And of course, the Nvidia result today was really bullish for that. So here we are at 33.2%. How high will we go? Well, we've got the 4-year weekly average at 4.5%. And then we have the 2021 high here up just below 8.9%. So I'm just going to round there, 8.9. And where are we going to go? We're going to break all that. Guys. Do you think? We're going to get back to even crazy stuff that we had back here up at 17%. I think so. I think we're heading up and up, guys, against Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin gets re-rated on all those themes that I mentioned earlier, plus digital credit, right, harvesting the debt market to pump Bitcoin, and then we've got all those going. The ETFs ramp up too. Everyone gets in, and then Ethereum's going up against that Bitcoin rise, that Bitcoin rally. OMG, right? And then of course we've got all these mega things for Ethereum. It's magical money, guys. It's unbelievable. Crazy stuff going on here. And so, Ethereum, they're looking real hot. 5 years of pent up under the 5K mark as well. And then finally blowing past that, you can see things are on the move, and Ethereum is already up against Bitcoin. Very, very exciting. Our season, says Sean. Our season indeed. So that's the backdrop. Obviously, we're going to have day-to-day up and downs, maybe a violent retrace to shake out some hands possibly, and then up to the right? So that's kind of the place where it's basically an asymmetrical trade. And we're just going to be patient with it, right? Be patient with that. All right, that's pretty cool. Thanks for that, Valiant. And let's move on to PulseChain. Let me cancel that. Actually, almost just about threw myself right out of everything. PulseChain stats. We're going to bring that up. Get into the results there. We did have a significant pullback on PulseChain today, so we'll talk about that. Healthy correction, one would say. Let's go. We're going to have a positive night tonight, I believe, guys. So that's going to be good. Let me just pull up PulseChain here. I was going to bring up the stuff around the bridge. So let me just quickly do that. And then we'll get into some product launches like Liberty Swap. We'll do that too. Let me know anything else you guys want me to look at. Let me know. But that's kind of what where we're going to go to. And I'm just bringing up the last thing there around the bridges. Let me just pull it. Right, so let me just bring that up. All right, let me know what you guys are liking on PulseChain at the moment. So let me know what, obviously everyone's into ProveX right now, and why not? Looks fantastic. But let us know what else you guys have been liking on the chain there. Get in the comments, let us know. That'd be really appreciable, right? All right, so we've also got Richard Hart in the house about this. Boom. Let me just pull up some of these links here. All right, let me just go through these. All right, we've got that one. I don't know we're going to go through all that. What date is that one? Is it? I don't think. We got that up there. Leave that over there, and got all that happening. And we've got that happening. Yeah. Okay. Let me get back over here. All right, I think we're good. Hey, good morning and good night from Frank White. Big shout out there, Frank. Hope you're doing well. Let's jump into the PulseChain charts here, and we'll get into the bridge updates and project updates. All right, so PulseChain here on day 1,202 days since PulseChain launched on the 30th of May 2023, a full system state fork of Ethereum on the 10th of May 2023. And here we are, PulseChain after a huge run, and it is finally having a little bit of a pullback. We're down 8.3% today. sitting at 40s1291. 40s1291. We'll get into the chart in a minute. We've got PulseX at the moment down 11.7%, sitting at 40s11. So they're still holding on to the 40s, still holding on to the 40s 1000. So both Pulse and PulseX still looking good there. Now remember, anything that beats 8.3% down on our top 100 charts is beating Pulse. Hex at the moment, after a huge run, 78X on Hex is down 12% today at 3,500 the penny, still holding up very good lines there. ProveX is, of course, the stellar star today. It did, yesterday I said, the RS is getting hot. It did sell off, and that's rebounded there as well. So, the market is keen on ProveX right now. Some market makers there, no doubt, but a FOMO. We're up 16.25%, back up at 1200 there on ProveX, looking very good indeed. Remember, it was underappreciated when the others, when Hex and Pulse and everything else was rallying. Incentive token at the moment, 63 cents, down 11.7%, and EHEX there is sitting at just over 1400th of a penny, is sitting at the moment at down 6.5% there as well. A lot of work to be done to converge to PHEX, is duly noted there. Let's go to the global metrics before we get into the charts. We've got gas prices at the moment. We couldn't pull this up yesterday, but we're at 983,000 beats, so we're maybe 2.5 to 3x higher than the normal. 148 pulse for a PulseX swap, 1900ths of a penny, still cheap of course. Let's look at validators. We've been climbing on these, haven't we? Pretty similar to yesterday, 47,218. Let's go finally to our final measure is the bridge. And of course, we had some drama about the bridge, so we'll talk about that. What else? We're expecting some negative number today. What happened there? It's got stuck in the matrix. Let's give it a refresh. Sean O'Malley says Radon XLP's earning great EDI, yield, and daily DCAing into cause. That's from Sean there around Radon X, one of our hot DeFi projects around lately. We're at 65,290,000. Our bottom about 40 days ago was down at 47. So we're still doing pretty good there. Up maybe 18 million still. I think we peaked out at about 22, 23 mil. So we're down 5% today, 0.5% for the 7 days, but still up almost 30% for the last 30 days in TVL. We do have a bit of a down day today, probably with the bridge issue there. 183K in, over 500,000 out there, and we're negative 342, 2,000 there on the outs. 80K USDC in, but 240K out, so 160 USDC out there today. Wrapped ETH 22 in, 24 out, so two loss of 2 ETH there. USD Tether 2K in, 161K out there on the USD Tether there. DAI 29 in, and I don't know what's out, but DAI sort of saving the day there a little bit. All right, that is the PulseChain global metrics. Let's jump into the PulseChain chart quickly. I'm not going to get too much into this, but let's get rid of the overlays and have a look at the charts. So we pretty much got resistance at the 50 weekly moving average of 1527. We hit it twice now. We have a nice little cool off here. Probably a good thing. Let's look at the RSI. RSI was at 63, not overbought at all in the weekly. Of course, we've got plenty of room after those 11 red months. We're down at 57, so it gives us a bit more fuel to move higher. Let's look at the daily. Daily's come off here as well, so we did peak out, and the RSI pretty reliable, right? Was up at 85, come back down to 60, so we're now not overbought anymore. Still kind of in the middle ground there, getting ready for the next rise, and the stochastic come all the way down to 15, below 20. So we've got a good chance of a move back up here. Got good support on the 21 daily moving average at 1184. So let's just say 40 is 1200. And so obviously that gives us good support for moving up here, and the RSI is cooling off on the shorter time frames daily. And of course the 4 hour, look at that, all the way down at 40, and the stochastic's down there. So we're looking good for a nice recovery here. And we've got the NASDAQ opening up tonight and all the positivity there with ETH lifting up. So I think we're looking pretty good for PulseChain. Nice little pullback, nice little cooling period, and get ready for the ramp up, I guess, is the play. That's a quick summary. Let's move on, and let's go to the top 100 here on PulseChain. And we've got 9.5 million in volume, so a good day in volume. I'm happy with these volumes. I hope you guys are too. Very cool. Now, the one thing I want to see with these volumes, of course, is continue to go up the ranks, and we're just slowly getting there, right? We started off by having, instead of having 2.5 to $3.5 million, which is kind of our bear market volume, we then jumped it to 6 million. Remember that quite a bit. Then we jumped up to 10 to 12 million. We come back to like 8 million, back up to 9.5. It's generally heading in the right direction. Very cool, whether it's a bull day or a bear day. And of course, the prices have been rallying big time, right? So at the moment, let's look at the volume at 9.5 million. PulseX sitting at number 2. Let's see how much that is. So it's a V2 DEX, 7.7 million, doing the bulk of it. 9mm. Remember, more buy and burn, I guess. 9mm back at $1 million trade volume. That's awesome, guys. Let's give that a magical twinkle because that's pretty good on the old 9mm. Our second biggest DEX is a V3 DEX. SwitchX is a V4 DEX, and that's doing 426K. Nice to see the upward movement there too. I'm sure Brandon's very happy with that hitting, between $400,000 $500,000. Very cool there. LibertySwap V3, of course, LibertySwap, our big Kraken developer, 266, not bad, still doing pretty good, 250 to 300, let's say. And it's nice to see that in that zone. Obviously, we want to get it back up to 500,000 or so. 9-inch at the moment, the sort of deprecated DEX, still doing 54K. I don't know how real this number is, but that's what it says, 54K. Uniswap being pushed down to number 6, doing 32K. It's probably pretty real, I would say. And if Investor, our new V3 DEX there at 7.5K. Now, we are getting a few more DEXs launching. We are getting a few more DEX aggregators, right? It is getting more competitive. It's normally an oligopoly is a sort of a market structure that says there might be like four different key players. Well, we kind of do have 4 key players down LibertySwap, but we have got a more competitive market with several other DEX aggregators there. Some of them like SquirrelSwap, and there's a few out there. So pretty cool. You can find them on PLS Start. Kind of cool. All right, so let's move forward here. Let's go to all DEXs. Look at the top 100. And check out what's going on here. So we've got PMINT at the moment back up on the top, 21.5%. Now remember, anything over 8.3, anything greater than down negative 8.3% is doing better than Pulse today. So it's going to make an easy bar, right? A low bar to get over. Yeah, we've got PMINT at the moment. A nice little cover there. Had a bit of sell off a couple of days ago. This is a PDI project, right? You put PDI in, you get a PMINT out. A bit of an interesting project there. Up 209% in 12 days. Then had a bit of a sell-off down to 133%, and now it's back up at 176 gains, so 2.7x, I should say. It's sitting at 0.5%, so it's gone from 2.7 cents to 7.5 cents, so not bad there with the old PMINT there. And the volumes, how are the volumes gone? Maybe around 8, was that 8 to 10, is it? Something like that. Where's my bot? It's not even showing on here because I couldn't see it. 12,000 was the peak there on that sell candle. Back up at about 8.5. So there we go. Remember, most plays on PulseChain are retail plays. We have only a certain amount that do 100K volume or more. But as prices increase and as activity increases, that all goes up, right? And we get more and more that are doing 100K plus volumes. Not PMINT today, but you get the idea. All right, so let's get back to that's number 1 today. ProveX, a crowd favorite apparently. crowd favorite today. Let's go through the crowd. Let's see. We came all the way back up here. Hexfader, ProveX is pumping. It sure is. Look at that. It's dominating. Pair number 3 to number 7. Now this Mule and this Nana X are all just kind of scam coins, so I just ignore those. But PulseX, PulseDie, etc., looking pretty good. We got who else was a ProveX Maxi? Sean, ProveX for the win. Yeah, ProveX for the win there. Who else was there in the chat there today? See, I said I'd come back around. So we've got a couple of diehard ProveXs there, and they're doing really well. Their bags are pumping. And that's what we like to see, right? That's what crypto's about. Community and pumping. That's pretty much it of the coins. So ProveX there looking pretty good. Let's look at the biggest pair. We're going to come down to USDC. It's a 1.3 million in the LP there for that one. And let's look at the chart. Whoa, looking pretty good. Let's go to the hourly chart. So when was I doing my live stream? 11 o'clock. Yeah, pretty much 11. So I did my live stream around here, remember? And then we got the sell-off, boom, just after the show. So that's my bad. I apologize, guys. I should have never said the RSI was hot and it was going to sell off, but it did. And then, of course, it decided to recover as well. So that was a good thing for that. So, I was right one moment and then not wrong the next moment. Not right. I was right one moment and not wrong the next moment. It recovered there. All right, so we've got cool. It's cool, bit of fun. Let's go to the daily there. The RSI is running super hot today. I don't know, guys. It's running super hot again. So there we go. We're at this level here. So we're at 93 on the daily, guys. I mean, that's pretty damn hot, right? And we're right up here at, it was at 3 zeros, 1200, just shy of that. with a high of 12.15. So we're at 11.87 with 3 zeros. We lost the zero, right? That the yellow line. So yeah, and the averages are moving up there. Let's have a look at the 4 hour. Have much room? Well, we've got room to move on the hour. I think we could go hotter. We could go hotter. Damn hot. It's going to be damn hot, but not for long. Not for long. I'm sure it's got to catch up with itself. And the weekly, guys, is elevated and has moved into the overbought at 71. So, you might probably got a little bit more room. You maxis, but just take note. It is damn hot there on that RSI. Now, is some market maker just going to keep pumping it up? I don't know about that. The volumes are lifted, but they're not like insane. It's a big heading towards $1 million volume on the main pair. So it's getting there. All right. So one of the Richard cores, ProveX, of course, is ZK technology, peer-to-peer. And of course, it looks like it's getting adoption there slowly and surely. We know that who's adopted it so far. We know that Vault 369 is adopted as an input token. It's before that, Kairos adopted it, right? The zero knowledge printer, a DeFi solution in ProveX. That was signed the early, and now we got LibbySwap talking about adoption of ProveX, probably the main mover, to be fair, right? Because that's the bridge and all the water flows of crypto. So really starting to get adoption there too, and pretty exciting. So some good stuff happening there on the old ProveX. That's it all the way down to number 8. Let's get to number 9. P Tiger, he roars again. So P Tiger, an influence on X, it is up 11% there. Apparently, been doing TikTok videos. I'll be surprised if that's actually bringing in new users. It might be in a few, but TikTok audience is pretty out there. Let's just say we got Christos and there. Good morning, Superman. Good to see you, Christos. Big shout out. We'll take it, says Valiant. We'll take it. Yeah, you'll take that 20%, that 50%. You'll take it on an hourly basis. On an hourly basis, says Valiant. Yeah. All right, so we're looking good there. We're currently on P Tiger. We're at 87 hundredths of a penny. It's heading towards 1 cent, guys. The closest attempt was a few days ago. Got to now 97 hundredths of a penny, and it's on the up and up. Now it's got a pretty skewed distribution of holders, and of course, including P Tiger. I think he holds a big bulk of it, so just take note. But the sellers have let it ride, right? The holders have let it ride, not the sellers. It's up 2,000. I'm just going to round it, right? 2,500% inside 32 days. So 2,500%. That's a 26x your money. So $100 becomes $2,600. So this is kind of almost hex like, right? So pretty cool. 2,500% there. What nice gains. And if it gets to 1 cent, which is just above it, that's a 30x, a 31x. So let's say just under 31x on that. So up and up. But look how hot the damn RSI is. You got to say those holders, mate, they must hold a damn lot of the supply. I'm not going to go through the supply holders, but that is doing pretty impressive, right? So if someone says, "Oh no, 25x on PulseChain," well, you can say P Tiger just did. So there we go, and we've got many others that have done many big X's as well. ALGO's one of those with like 8, 9x. UFO, of course, recently launched here at number 10 to number 12. That's on the mix here. What did I just cover actually? P Tiger just moved up number 4. We got UFO here up just slightly, and this tops off our greens, right? So just up slightly on UFO at number 12. Everything else is in the red, as you guys know. Anything better than 8.3% down, which is basically the top 40 peers on here, is doing better than PulseChain. And interestingly enough, Peacock is right on the border there at 1.3 cents, coming down from 1.6.5, right? So, it's an interesting zone there. Let's have a quick look through some of these quickly. We've got liquid loans down 4. Oh, there's no volume on that one. Let's ignore that. A couple of Peacock trifectas. Zendog down 5%, Zero down 5%. Peacock, as I said, 1.3% there. Ignore the Nana X ones, guys, the scammy ones. The Mule as well. Ignore that. Ignore those two. Scammies. And then we got, what else we got going down here? I'm just scrolling down. Well, that's pretty much it. So let's go Peacock there, sitting at the balance. Let's look a bit further field. 9M at the moment, our second biggest DEX, despite having $1 million volume, is down 8.5%. Keep a lookout for that one, as I said. Expecting that to do some good stuff. Vouch, our number one public validator, down 9.5% at number 54. ALGO, which has done amazing, right? Let's have a look at that. Just cooling off a little bit now. But look at that chart too. I mean, off the top there, in 39 days, did a 10x. Pretty cool. At the moment, it is up at 8x at the moment. So it's a hex derivative, right? So obviously hex rallies hard. And talking about hex is here too. So we talk about hex pairs all the way down here, number 64 down to like number, no, it's all the way down, spreading like a virus. Hex is spreading like a virus. It is all the way down here. Let's go to the big pair. This one here with almost $1 million, $900,000 of volume. Let's have a look at the hex pair here too. Boom, boom, boom. This is the daily chart, and we're still looking pretty good, aren't we? We've got nice support on the daily, on the 21 at 3300th of a penny. We're at 3600th of a penny right now. We've come back and tested that already yesterday. Presumably that's going to give us good support. What else can we say about that? I think that's it at the moment. We have a 61.8 Fibonacci at 3/10 of a penny. So you've got to say that we've got two lines of support there. The 3300th of a penny and the 3/10 of a penny. That would be 61.8 Fibonacci. I think that works pretty well, guys. So that's our big support zone. Also had a lot of resistance around that period. So that's kind of the bounce off. And of course, we also saw on PulseChain, we're looking good for the move higher as well. So just a little bit of profit taking, a little bit of cooling off. Tonight we've got positive markets with the Nvidia, downstream. Let's see how we go. That's kind of the plot there. Our target is still pretty much for the 61.8 Fibonacci extension using this projection, still just under 7/10 of a penny. As you guys know, in the near term, I see half a penny quite easily being done. But with this cool off, gives us another chance to rally and head up towards that 6,900, 700th of a penny. And certainly the half a penny and mark there is around a year. So easy cookings there. So to do that, let's say we bounce off the 3,300th of a penny to get back to half a penny would be a 48% move. Seems pretty good, consistent with where we are. Getting up to that 7/10 of a penny is a 2x from here. So that's sort of the upside at the moment. And we've got good cushions here with an upward trend at the moment. So we're holding these higher lows, holding the higher highs here. Pretty important that we hold that 3/10 of a penny there at the moment. So what would that be on the downside? Let's quickly look at that. That would be a 15% move to the downside, right? So there we are. All right, what else? Let's go to the weekly there. Oh, actually, let's go back to daily. Let's add the RSI on. RSI has cooled off, guys, on the day. This is great news. We knew it had to cool down, and near at 57. And, of course, we've got the stochastic way down at 8.7. So looking really good on X, I think. 4 hour to get some confirmation. RSI is all the way down on 41. And, of course, look at it's just crossing back up on the stochastic here. So I think, we'll auto-log that, but I think Hex is looking good there at the moment. So that cool off, just perfect. That uptrend intact. And then we'll look at the weekly. Weekly is kind of elevated, 64, cooled off. The RSI is kind of hot there as well, but given the shorter time frames, I think we're still looking pretty good for this 47 to half a penny mark, and then the 7/10 of a penny. And as QQ says, slow and steady, absolutely. And we've got likely have a good night tonight on the stock market, and that should bode well for the crypto, especially with ETH downstream from Nvidia. All plays out well there. All right, so that's kind of the play. Now we also had the bridge issues as well. So should we go to that? I think we're quite finished yet with the charts. So let's just quickly finish those off. As we come down, who's down the most? Well, we're incentive token down 12%, liquid loans, we talked about that, down 30%. PTC the Grays, our big DAO project, one of our biggest communities and influencers, down 14% there. Had a nice rally though, didn't it? But that's cool right off now. And let's have a look at PTC. Now, if you guys haven't checked out Previnan, he's kind of the quant influencer for PTC. Go check him out. He knows this thing inside out, right? He's lives and breathes PTC. Don't let him through the front door. No, just kidding. But we got the upside there. All right, so there we go. That's the funny things we say on live stream. But we're up 1,200% and still up 1 to 30%. So this is a really nice rally. 38 days, a 3x, and then still up 130%, so 2.3x. And just cooling off, really, isn't it? For the upside, the RSI down to 50, and on the 4 hour, what's it looking like? Way down the bottom here, almost an oversold. So kind of looking like a good zone for steady here. And if we look on the 4 hourly, look at all those resistance levels. This could become very good support, guys. Getting ready to bounce on the RSI there, 4 hour and daily, looking real good. So probably round 2 for PTC. And if we get those bounces on Pulse and Hex, looking good too, right? So good support there at 4/10 of a penny, at 8,400 of a penny right now. RSI on the weekly down at 48. So, pretty healthy looking, isn't it, for the PTC, the Grays? And I'm sure Pierre Renard would agree. Hashtag. All right, so we got some updates, some news, some trouble over the bridges. Now, I was sleeping during this time, guys. It's all Americans that are having all this drama. I wake up to American drama. We got Richard Hart comes out here. This is 11 o'clock. So what's time's this? This is an hour ago. Is what day is it? Yeah, hour ago is it? I think it's an hour ago, guys. He comes out. Bridge.pulsechain.com was updated to version 1.1.5. So I guess we have to share that around, don't we? We have to share that around. So that's from Richard Hart. Bridge to PulseChain. I don't know who these people are. I guess X is memology, right? Memology. All these animals, man. All these animals. When's the last time you've been over one of these bridges? It's crazy. They're crazy to go on. Everyone loves their puppies and animals, don't they? All right, so that is from Richard. Let's see what else he's got to say. So this is Richard, of course, the founder of PulseChain. There he is there, if you don't know him. Very few don't, of course, and that generally follow. What he said 1 hour ago, he says, now who pointed this out? Someone earlier here. QQ said RH has some new tweets and BTC guys and Pulse Date update. Yeah, nice one there, QQ. All right, so we got time to waste some time saving Bitcoin guys again. Time to waste some time saving Bitcoin guys again. This time, the Lightning guys. Apparently, Core Lightning has vulnerabilities that fixes aren't released for yet. You should take your node offline until they are. Also, why not look at a real network like PulseChain? Isn't that cool? So it was from Richard. Another hour ago, was this? He's looking at ProveX there. So for you ProveX maxis, very cool. 261% in 83 days. So there we go. ProveX update, Bitcoin caution there, and of course PulseChain bridge has been updated there. Pretty cool, and we've got lots of cool things in that, so that's neat. Bretep, of course, the PulseChain developer, he's in the house as well. Big shout out to him. He's a man of few words. So yeah, he's got move fast and break things. Working when the worst case is broken button. Does not work when you're handling assets shipping without proper testing or code. So there's a little comment there. I thought he had an update on the side here. What do we got here? A note for services using public RPCs. Nothing there. Okay. I thought he had an update here as well. So I thought I saw something about that. Let me have a quick look. Let's see if he's got any comments. No, nothing there. So nothing from BTEP. But anyway, the bridge has been updated. So hopefully any issues there were solved. We also obviously had a Liberty swap, right? So there's this. All right, before I move on, there is bridge.pulsechain.com. It's got a lovely update about the bridge. So if you want to read all about that, you can. I might post that in the chat there. Bam. If you guys want to read that on the PulseChain bridge. A lot of people are now using pretty much, Liberty Swap and other providers. We've got like 30 different bridge providers on PulseChain, maybe even more now. I did a big count. I remember I surveyed everything, went through all the bridges, and it was pretty big. So there we go, bam. All right, so this kind of cool article on the bridge stuff there. What is PulseChain bridge, etc. So if you want to geek out on that, go check it out. So that's the official bridge, right? Stuff there. Look at that. It's a huge article there. Check it out. Anyway, let's check out Liberty Swap updates. They obviously do their own bridge service. They make it super fast, super instant. And let's see what else we got here. We're going to find the first day in the life of Liberty Swap. And I always love these good morning starts because that's a great place to start, right? Now, obviously, Liberty Swap is arguably the number one developer building the biggest ecosystem on the back of the ZKX wallet. They are doing intent-based trading. They're doing privacy with Railgun using ETH contracts. They're going to be launching PulseChain contracts, which I think the market's going to be very excited for. They are basically building out. They've already got 4 operational DeFis, earning a lot of crypto monies. The buy and burn Peacock. They're moving to a 10x buy and burn. They have turned off the buy and burn off the total supply on Peacock, but they have building up a big treasury. Let's go have a look at the treasury before we get into the news. I've been tracking the wallets. So they are up to $17,300, guys, sitting in that treasury. And with Peacock coming back down to 1.3 cents or so, that means they're getting up to maybe 1.3 million, 1.45, somewhere in that ballpark of burning technology. But they're about to bring on at least go from 4 dApps to maybe 9 to 10. And those are they're focusing on all the best and latest stuff that earns a lot of money and that is some of the best crypto technology and dApps out there. So this is where Liberty Swap's going. And so it's the big Kraken project. Now we have many other top tier projects like Switch and Internet Money and many others, change now. There's so many good ones, but is easily the biggest one at the moment. Although I'd keep a lookout for, Batias, Internet Money, and Switch in the top 5, right? I would put them. And maybe even Emmett with Kairos there. He's building out a whole ecosystem as well. He's doing a pretty good job there. Looking forward to that. All right, so here we are. Good mornings, they say. Good morning, and good morning to you, Liberty Swap. No FUD should stop you from doing the right thing. Bridge to PulseChain now. So there we go. Now, they've been teasing a lot of things, right, lately, teasing a lot of things, 300,000 Bitcoin teasing, lots of things like that. It's been pretty funny. What else here? So they've been obviously focused on their wallet, the Keystone hardware wallet in particular with the Pulse branding. People have been getting that in the mail, which has been pretty cool. People have been enjoying that. Let me jump way up here. Let's see what other updates I got there. Just having a look through some of this. At LibertySwap, we build our own front end for almost everything there. Cool. It's looking very cool, actually, isn't it? Just use LibertySwap to move your funds. Yeah, it's getting slicker and slicker. Now, they will be getting their code out soon, so we're looking for their code. That's for full transparency. PulseChain there, resilient. Yeah, let's move on from that. Just trying to look for the product updates, guys. I'm just looking for that. Just in time for our fiat to PulseChain asset flow. So this is kind of one of the big upgrades is their fiat to PulseChain. They're going to be using multiple channels for that. Cash App to PulseChain, Revolut to PulseChain. So if you've got any of these dApps, then check that out. Basically, you can go like fiat to these Cash Apps and then USDC to your wallets and then buy PulseChain. Kind of the idea of these as well. A lot of people use those apps. 2 hours ago, we are about to launch a one-of-a-kind protocol. Well, we've been getting some really good modified forks or using third-party protocols, those sort of things. Now it looks like they've got their one-of-a-kind protocol that makes your stablecoin extremely private for payments and trading. As you guys know, they're really trying to make everything go from public to private, and that's pretty cool. Obviously using ProofX, ZK, Railgun, and moving into everything like private transferring, private trading, private lending. These are all the things they're going full on into the private stuff there, which is pretty cool. And they're a big part of crops, right? Just like Ethereum is with Vitalik. So it's pretty cool. Still use the stable coins you already use on PulseChain and Ethereum. Fiat to private stable coins for a 0.5% fee. Fiat to PulseChain assets for a 0.3% fee. They're very competitive on the fees compared to the market majors as well. All fees collected will be used to buy back and burn Peacock. And therefore, if they're sitting on $17,300 at the moment in the treasury, they're just obviously going to stack that up and do some pretty interesting little buy and burns. So that is it this autumn, they say, this autumn. 2 hours ago, obviously, ProofX is pumping. The ZK peer-to-peer technology is the gateway to bringing millions of new users to PulseChain. Of course, ProofX should lead the way. Glory to Richard. Now, we still don't know how adoption is going to happen with that. At the moment, of course, we've seen a few, we've seen zero knowledge proof from Kairos with the DeFi there, where you have a tax reflection project earning ProofX. We've seen Vault 369, as I said earlier, and we've got LibertySwap, obviously, looking for adoption of ProofX. So obviously, what are the adoptions there? We don't know exactly. Is there going to be big marketing around ProofX, all that sort of stuff coming up? There's lots of different things could happen there, question mark. But certainly, we're in the early phases of ProofX adoption as well. So that'd be fun. And of course, if the ZKX wallet gets widely used, then ProofX is going to benefit from that as well. All right. ProofX is coded for glorious gains. Truly, people come to the blockchain because of attractive, innovative, genuine, good technology. ProofX has that. The tech speaks for itself. So there we go. But people have got to, got to enable it and use it, right? Otherwise, it's cool to have it. But you guys know what I'm talking about. You cannot short a move this strong and parabolic when it's aiming at the all-time high. Just cannot. ProofX will be one of the first coins to break all-time highs and go beyond. I don't make the rules, says LibertySwap there. Not financial advice, of course. Not financial advice. All right, so there we go. Let's jump up here. Let's keep going. Now, remember, ProofX has its own sacrifice set as well on that. Now, here's the 7 hours ago. This is the big update. So we're going to finish off with this from LibertySwap. We're almost an hour and 30 minutes on the live. We've got a great community watching. Appreciate you guys sharing the same journey on the same timeline. We're still early, really. So just going to be patient. Make sure you get the good stuff in crypto and hold old dog, control the emotions. And remember, once we get up into these big numbers, you can then maybe think of taking profits. Don't ride the bull market down the other side. That's the key, right? Just take into account. LibertySwap says, we've finished the bridges for Sonic, Hyper EVM, Kronos, and Ferris Exchange. Obviously, doing a lot of key waterworks, as we say, waterworks. These bridges, and that's cool. Opening up more potential for more users, more capital flow. We love it, and we're just getting started. More coming soon. So they're going to be adding Tron, BTC. Isn't that cool? That's very cool. XMNR, and of course ZEC, Zcash there, PulseChain. In-wallet edit and revoke approvals. I think they've already done quite a bit of this, but they're going to have that. Clear signing, obviously very important in the age of scammers and stuff. Fiat centralized exchanges. This is a big deal, right? On-rating there to PulseChain QR deposits. And of course, in-wallet swap for ZKX wallet. This could be a huge revenue earner too. Limit orders and DCA, dollar cost averaging. The gas tank, making everything free for people to use, not having to worry about gas. Gas is transactions for ZKX wallet, so just reducing barriers there to entry as well. Railgun public broadcaster and hardware wallet support, very cool, using ETH contracts and then PulseChain contracts, no doubt. We're looking for that soon. Liberty Dex is reopening. They've been refactoring that, making it fast and all that. Then the Launchpad and Pump for Fun, which is going to be pretty huge. And I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe we'll get Peacock staking by then. That could be a huge pump handle, and the airdrop, right? Which I think initially was going to be a DAO kind of reward token. We'll see, keep a lookout for that. But certainly Pump for Fun could be pretty big there. Remember, these guys have got an advantage, right? Because they're doing a big bridge on chain, multi-chain, omni-chain value back to Peacock. And so they've got this liquidity way, and people, when they use bridges all the time, they tend to use the dApps that they're getting offered as well. So imagine one big river like the Amazon. They're putting all these DeFi businesses along it. That's the way I like to look at it. And these guys are rolling out. They might have 9 to 10 of them within a very few months, right? They said they finished most of them, so they're just rolling them out in the right order, which is very smart. I love the smart play of that. We have to wait a bit for the good stuff, but it's better to roll things out in the right order. I think we can all agree with that. And so far, what are they doing? Rolling out all these bridges to different chains to open up capital flow and new users, right? So very smart rollout there. And then once they have all that money start to come through more and more, it helps with the dApps that they launch, right? So like Perpetual's coming out with commodities and stock trading, all that sort of stuff, and PulseChain wallets. Very, very cool to see all that. So really neat stuff there. And of course, leading the way in intent-based trading, privacy trading, and all the good stuff there with all the best DeFi apps. You can see these guys are doing the big picture stuff. And of course, many of that Richard Hart's old roadmap, right? Remember his old blue roadmap there as well. So kind of cool. Good stuff happening there, guys. And we just get that bridge update. Not bad at all. All right, so the other big thing that we've got launching is not from these guys, but actually Triple Dad. He's going to be launching our number 6 liquidity fork, and he's been having a lot of fun lately. But apparently, the VersaVault, which is the liquidity fork that he's launching, got a few different mechanisms to it, but that is coming out. They're doing testing this week, and so I guess they're going to be launching next week. I think that's kind of on track for that, so we shall see. But we'll keep you abreast with that. That's from Triple Dad, our 6th liquidity fork on PulseChain. Very cool. Multi-chain, I believe, and multi-collateral. Right, so that's coming up as well. All right, I think that's probably it at the moment. I think we'll leave it there. Let's see, what else? You guys got anything else that I haven't talked about at the moment? Let me know. I'm going to do a quick check here and see if I missed anything before we wrap up there. We're about an hour and 33 minutes on the hour. We've got a huge crowd watching. Appreciate that, everybody. And we're streaming on 3 YouTube channels and on X Live. And I guess you guys are getting excited. I think we're just having a cool off on those charts of PulseChain. We've got a nice opening for Nvidia tonight in the stock market. And then, good chance for a rally there and bouncing off some good support levels. So PulseChain looking pretty good there. What else? Let me just quickly check some of the stuff. Let's see. Look, the buy and burn on Pulse at the moment, it's burning about 1 billion Pulse, guys. 1 billion Pulse. Pretty crazy. And Liberty Swap, of course, the key one there. So I think I covered everything, guys. We covered the bridge upgrade. We've covered the buy. I just added in the buy and burn there, and we've covered a Liberty Swap. So not bad. And of course, we threw in VersaVault. We're excited about that liquidity fork too. So we're now in 35 minutes on the live. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. I'll catch you again tomorrow for another daily show as we cover PulseChain. And almost 7 years, guys, streaming virtually every day with a few days off for this and that. but on and up. The largest PulseChain influencer doing comprehensive coverage. We don't just do one chart or this chart. We do the whole thing, right? We cover project updates. We cover the top 100 peers. We cover it all, and any technical upgrades as well. We also do some technical live, so it's been a lot of fun. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Through bear market and bull, we're here every day. We didn't go away. We stayed here, and we've been here sharing the journey. And that's the key, right? BFFs forever. BFFs. As always, many thanks for the info, Soapman. Hey, welcome, Valiant. Thanks for the reminder too on the ETH of the BTC. Keep a lookout, guys, for tonight. It's going to be pretty fun. Let me just have one more check of the futures market, see if it's still holding. Yeah, up over 0.5%. So we even got stronger since we're doing the live stream. We could have a really stellar night tonight. Keep a lookout for those ETH charts downstream of AI, and of course PulseChain downstream of ETH, and of course getting some good supports. We need a little bit of cool off, so it's kind of cool like that. QQ says you're the man, and anyone in Previx is loving it right now. You guys are in the winning trade. Pretty cool, and it looks like it's pushing as hot as it can get on the outside. But man, let's see where it is tomorrow, because it is hot. All right, thank you, everybody. I'm going to go off into the cold now to cool off. All right, bye for now.